Hey guys, my name is Alana Morgan, and you're listening to another episode of Oak Performance Radio. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oak Performance Radio. I'm your host, Adam Lane. If you're new to the show, our goal here is to create some fantastic content for athletes, parents, and coaches. We tell stories, have laughs, and go into everything that is the end game of athletic performance, helping athletes achieve their optimal performance and be the best they can possibly be. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Oak Performance Radio. I'm your host, Adam Lane. With me today, Judson University, Miss Alana Morgan.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being. I'm glad we made this work out.
Yeah.
Because I kind of forgot about it, and then
good.
And now we're here, and this is good. Alana, this is the conversation we had prior to this podcast, where is I always think it's interesting how every athlete that truly enjoys their sport, and I'm not saying necessarily has to go off and play in college and stuff like that, but everybody has their own story to their career.
Yeah.
And everybody's a little bit different. And I think you've taken a unique journey, if you will. And it's still, we're still in it too. It's not like it's over. There's a lot more to be had.
Yeah.
And probably, dare I say, the best is yet to come. And I want to highlight these things. So for the tens of people that listen to the show who might not know who you are and why you're such a big deal, tell them who you are and why you're such a big deal.
Okay, so I'm Alana Morgan. I'm going to be a athletic incoming freshman, academic incoming sophomore at Judson University.
You got some credits.
Yeah, I do have some credits.
Okay.
32, I think.
From AP classes, from
dual credit.
Dual credit.
Yeah,
okay.
Dual credit through my high school and our local community college.
Kish,
yeah.
Okay.
Kish is my local.
There we go.
Also,
good job, Kishwaukee. Okay, gotcha. You're right there too. Yeah. Okay.
So I went to a high school and a vocational school. So my vocational school was in Waubonsee's district, and then my high school is in Kish's district. So that's how I had two community college.
Did you actually have to go to the college to get or did you just? Oh, okay.
I just
at school.
Yeah, so just at school. Mostly my college classes were all asynchronous, so I was online, and then
asynchronous.
Asynchronous.
What?
So
that's a word.
Yeah, asynchronous. So it means I'm on my computer. I never have to meet with a professor. I never have to see them, just through email, and I can do the classes at my speed, but they're still due dates.
Okay.
So I have 2 of those in my college classes actually this year. So that's nice. But at my vocational school, which was in Waubonsee's district, it was an in-person 2.5-hour class that I did at my vocational school and not at Waubonsee.
Okay.
And that was in sports medicine. So
gotcha. Interesting. Sorry, we're gonna get back to you.
Yeah, we're gonna get in.
I find it interesting, just from a parent standpoint, where my oldest is in 7th grade now, and high school is coming quickly, and I like the college thing. However, to overpay for college, I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I love my children, but we're not paying $70,000 a year for them to go find themselves. And so in the way of the AP thing is fine, but the dual credit thing seems to make much more sense to me.
It saved me so much money.
Yeah.
So much money.
Oh. So parents, if you're listening, this dual credit thing seems to be where it's at. And that's where I think that the whole junior college thing is very underrated. Because I think you could do some great things with that. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah.
Academic, sophomore, athletic freshman.
Yeah.
Judson University. Keep going.
Yeah. So going back on my career, my career's been a little it didn't go as I wanted it to, but I'm glad with where I am right now. So some girls might call me a club hopper, but I think I just needed to find my right fit, and my right fit was VC United. So
I didn't know. Where were you before? When did you come to VC?
My 17th year. So last year.
It wasn't until then.
No, it wasn't.
I guess I didn't. Oh gosh, sorry. My years are all blurry.
It was my 17th year, and I was in the premier program both years, which I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Mm-hmm. It's a good program.
Yeah.
That Amber Ralston girl, she knows some volleyball.
Yeah. I love Amber. But before that, I was at 3 different clubs. In middle school, I was at one club. My freshman year, I went to another club. And then my sophomore year, I was at another club. I think I just needed to find my right fit.
Yeah.
And I went to high school at Indian Creek High School in Shabana, Illinois, for anybody that knows where that's at.
Shabana.
Yeah, go Shabana. Yeah, if anybody knows where that's at.
No one knows where that is.
Congrats to you. But yeah, Indian Creek's a very small high school, so there I kind of got to navigate going to a small school and then going to here where everybody goes to basically a bigger school than I do.
Well, the girl, oh my gosh, Aubrey, the Whitties.
The Whitties, yeah.
They were Indian Creek, right?
Yeah, they were Indian Creek.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Audrey is actually playing at my rival college.
Where's she going?
St. Ambrose.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Okay.
So that's our rivals.
And
she's there.
Oh my gosh, the old Evelyn?
Evelyn. She played at St. Ambrose.
Is that where she's at now?
No, she is in grad school.
Okay.
At University of Tennessee.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
But she doesn't play there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I remember she got in that car accident years ago, and kind of. Oh, jeez. Okay, sorry. Bring it back. Little Shabana. Little Indian Creek. Going to so. I want to keep going with this theme of trying to find that right club, because I find it interesting that. Well, and I get it. I can't tell you how many. Most of the kids that we train in all sports are doing club sport.
Yeah.
Like we have a kid from Boylan. I just met on his first day yesterday. You know, hey, where do you play? And he's playing at blah 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 club baseball. You know, there's our basketball kids play club basketball. There's nobody that doesn't do this club thing. There's so much club stuff going on. So the idea of club hopping to me is not crazy, because I just in the different club stuff quotes that my kids have done, I recognize when the coach is amazing and the club's amazing and they have their stuff together. Plug for VC United, in what they're doing and how they're doing it. But when they don't, it is so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating on the kid. It's frustrating on the parent. We've had some not good experiences with clubs of different sports, and it's really hard. It's really you want your kid to enjoy this. They should be enjoying it. It should be fun, but due to this, that, or the other thing, it's not a great experience, and it affects the parents, it affects the kids. If the kids aren't playing, or if the kids, even if there's bad communication, we had a couple experiences. Club didn't communicate well. We didn't know when practice was. Our business is very busy from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is also the same time practices for things. Yeah. So I need to know in advance when stuff's going on, because if not, I'm going to schedule these things. And then all of a sudden practice times has changed, and it's messing me up. And then I get frustrated because I get stressed because of what's going on here at the gym. And then I have to get my kid to blankety blank practice. And then I'm short, and then he's fired up, and then, And so I could see, sorry, I'm just supporting you on this dare I say club hopping thing. You had to find your right fit. Yeah, which
that's what I call it. I'm like, I just needed to find my right fit. But there's a lot of people that have the idea that you find a club, you stay with the club, you're loyal to that club, which I am loyal to the clubs that I play for. But at the same time, if it's not a right fit, I'm not going to put myself through that. So in middle school, for 7th and 8th grade, which is the 2 years that I started to play, I played at this one club that was closer to me, very disorganized, not really good at communicating. But we gave it the idea after my 7th grade year, we're new, we don't know how clubs work. Yeah. Okay. Because I went from,
that was mature.
I went from doing gymnastics at a gym that communicated and all that. So I was very new to volleyball. And so 7th grade year, we're they just started up a couple years ago. We're going to give them another year, because we're maybe it'll fix up. Well, it didn't. So after my 8th grade year, I went from playing at a club that was new, disorganized, not that well kept, to a very household name volleyball club, elite, going to a new state every weekend. Very new as well. So going from that disorganized state to the very well-organized state was pretty good. I loved the training there, but sadly, my sophomore year, I got cut. And that kind of just it hurt me a little bit, but I knew, like, they explained how with COVID, nobody likes COVID.
No.
Like, the union that they were under cut their teams.
Okay.
That's what they told us. I'm just like, okay, like, if you cut me, you cut me. Like, I'm just gonna work even harder.
Yeah.
So they cut me. I went to another smaller club, and there I finally learned about, like, where VC United was.
Yeah.
Because at my old elite club, we would play VC United at our home gym, like, a couple weekends here and there.
Okay.
And I never knew where VC United was,
Yeah.
personally. And then I went to this club that's worked with VC United in the past, and I'm like, oh, VC United's just in Rockford. Keep in mind, from my house, VC United is like an hour and 15 away.
Yeah.
But I decided that after my sophomore year, I'm like, I want to go play there because I know that they're well organized. Their teams are really good. They have a awesome coaching staff. I could see that from the other side of the net. So I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to drive an hour and 15 minutes there and then an hour and 15 minutes back in order to get that training. And then I came here, found Oak. I'm like, okay, let's get this weightlifting thing started. And then
here we are.
Here we are. And I committed to Judson University in August of last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you were early.
It was, I was early.
Yeah.
I was under the expectation after my junior year that I wasn't going to commit probably until this summer, honestly, because the recruiting journey is so different for everybody. And I'm not going to say like which one out of the 3 past clubs, but at one of my clubs that I played at previously, I was told that like I barely had a chance of playing in college. They didn't believe in me.
Yeah.
And then luckily, like, Judson took a chance on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to go with you guys because you guys are a good fit for me.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that, and it's a tough thing because it rubs me wrong if it's passed off in a gimmicky way. Like, if you want to play in college, if you want to do this in college, you have to do our club, and this is our college program to do the college thing, and college, and that's supposed to be the thing that sells the parents. Now, to put your money where your mouth is, VC United does that better than any club in the nation, and I think second best in the nation this year. I think we had 41 people.
I thought we were third, but
are we third?
I think
now I'm even more mad.
I know I'm more mad because we were like first for a long time, and then
I know the Salt Lake City Club has like we're the biggest under one roof. I know they have like 5 locations, and then they added, which is totally cheating.
Yeah,
but no, another League One club, which is so no hate there. Because now in the same breath though. And the thing that I love with what VC does, it doesn't matter, if you're going D1 to, wherever the who, or, if you want to do the JUCO, NAIA, smaller school thing, which is fantastic too, because I'm amazed how, Jade Kaufman just left. Jade's been at Millikan for the last 3 years. Jade's had one of the most positive, little Millikan.
Yeah.
She's had one of the most positive experiences playing collegiate volleyball, and it's not, she hasn't transferred. She loves the coaches. She loves her teammates. She's not playing at Wisconsin, it's not Penn State, but she's loving it. And it's like, she keeps training and, and she's having a phenomenal experience. And I think that is the thing that can get so overlooked when you have these recruiting things of different stuff that I have a buddy from Texas who was up here in Rockford this weekend, and I met up with him over at Sports Core 2 because his kid was playing a collegiate lacrosse thingamahoo. Now he's a freshman in high school, but they were like all these college coaches there, and you saw all the logos, when you walked in, and it was cool. It was fine. But you see this with all the sports. You see this with soccer and lacrosse and volleyball and baseball and softball and And so I think it's fantastic when you can, and this is just my plug for VC here, when you create an environment where it doesn't matter where you are on this spectrum of, you're not tall enough. No offense, you're a very nice person. You're not tall enough to play middle blocker, for University of Illinois. It's probably not going to work out for you. You just didn't get those genetics thrown your way. I'm sorry, but like to give you an opportunity to continue to play, through this premier program, through the guidance of somebody like Amber, who knows as much as she does about the sport of volleyball. Like, holy crap, like I think that is a phenomenal thing. I'm not just here to plug VC, but I don't think not everybody does this. So I'm just supporting you in the sense of, like, you were club hopping, but you're also like, hey, this club wasn't giving me what I was looking for, and so there are lots of options now, and good, bad, or indifferent. I hope the ones that aren't doing the good jobs that they should be doing die.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a terrible way. I just hope that, like, hey, if you're not in it for the right reasons, if your coaches aren't there for the right reasons, if this is just a money grab and that's what you're doing and why you're here, well, I hope you go away. Because that's not the right thing for kids and stuff like that. You're just smoke and mirrors at that point.
Yeah, and like something that I don't like with recruiting, not at VC, but at like other places, or even if you like go online and you're like trying to find a recruiter to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I don't like, even like with the public too. They're like, oh, if you don't go D1 and get a scholarship, like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I come to VC United, I commit NAIA, like I get a scholarship, and I'm congratulated the same as someone that committed D1 or someone that committed JUCO. Like, we're all celebrated the same here because all of our accomplishments are important.
Yeah.
And that's something that means a lot to me, because whether someone tells me, oh, I committed D1, I'm like, oh yeah, good job. Like, congratulations. Like, that's amazing. I would say the same thing to someone that committed JUCO.
Yeah.
Just because there's not that many people that get the chance to play in college. Yeah. And it's an amazing opportunity to get to play in college because I'm not even there or on the team yet. I mean, next week is camp.
Yeah.
But I've met almost all of my teammates and I love them to death already because they are so sweet.
Yeah.
I love my coach. I haven't met my assistant coaches yet just because we've gotten a new assistant coaching staff. But my head coach, I just love her.
Yeah. Very cool.
But
very cool.
I've just loved VC, like, being there for me and being like, hey, it doesn't matter if you commit D1 or NAIA or JUCO. Like, we love you the same.
Yeah.
And we're going to train you the same.
Well, and I think there's like just this like physical ability piece too, like of like I could not have played Division I football. I'm 5'9.5", and I played at like 190 pounds, and that body is not, and I was not fast, so it's not like that's not a bad proportion if you're going to be a very quick running back or a cornerback. I was neither of those things, and like just the cards I was dealt was not, Division I. Lexi Lewis just left the gym. She's going into her senior year at Milwaukee. She's 6'1", 6'2", and made for volleyball. And so her path took her this Division I route.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't have the best experience at her first school, she's very excited about the second school piece. But like, just because you're not 6'1", 165, and just and doesn't mean, to your point, doesn't mean that if you go D2 or D3 or NAIA or JUCO or whatever, that it's train your butt off, okay, practice hard, lift it hard, and I go back to Jade. Jade's having a phenomenal experience. Yeah. She's having so much fun. Exactly. She's enjoying it. She loves it. Yeah. She like holy crap. If I could wish that for my own children, like, that's what I want them to do. I want them to form these bonds, with teammates and coaches, that you are in the process of doing, just in the beginnings of doing, and really make this a very memorable and fun, 4 years of your life, and get as much as you can out of the sport, because sport is fun.
Yeah. The sport is
I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just going off on pontificating on things.
Yeah, but for the people out there that haven't like met me before, I am 5'2". I am very short. I could never play front row for a D1, D2, maybe even D3 school. But like, shout out Oak, because got my first block of the season this year. Yeah. As a libero, I played right side during a game at a tournament, and I got a block.
Okay.
So I was
There we go.
I literally was like, shout out Oak after that, because even though you're short, you can still get up there, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
you can go D1.
No, it doesn't.
As much as I wish.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to the guy who did our onboarding for Sparta Science here. His name's Brian Buck. Brian played for the St. Louis Cardinals in baseball. And before we'd met, it was over the phone. It was Zoom stuff, so it's only, from here to here. And then he came for our install here. This is like 7 years ago. And we got the plates and stuff like that. And then he flew in and he kind of ran us through like, this is how they work. And this is what you should do. And and just took us through the whole thing. Well, he walks in and played Major League Baseball, blah, 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 blah. He's 6'3", 195, like just absolutely just looks like a professional athlete. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is why I didn't play professional. It's funny how, like, again, depending on the cards that you're dealt. And I think some people, like early on when their kid's 12, they're like, oh my gosh, my kid's going to play for Notre Dame football. They're going to play for, UConn basketball and And then all of a sudden, like, genetics actually sit in and like, some kids are taller, some kids are shorter, some kids are quicker, some kids are slower, some kids are, this, some kids are that. And that's fine to everything. If you train hard, you work hard. I'm going to say on the court, field, course, mat, whatever you're doing, sport wise, and then in the weight room doing whatever sports performance training you need to do in which to maximize your God-given ability, you're doing something pretty special. Yeah. Like that's what I think you've done. That's what, I know Jade has done. That's what even, Lexi Lewis, playing Division I has done. And I think that's so admirable because, because you're enjoying it at the same time. Like you're really having fun. It's not work, kind of work, but it's not work. Yeah. You enjoy coming here. The 75 minutes in a car one way is probably not the most enjoyable thing. No, it's not. But you do it. It's worth it. At the end of the day. So I think that's, I think that's super cool. Yeah. Super cool. I don't know where I was going with that, but that was, I think it's neat how everybody's got kind of their own like genetic potentials. And I've seen it both ways. I've seen kids with really high potential slack off. Yeah. And quit the sport, or maybe they should have gone D1 and they went D3 because they just didn't work that hard. Yeah. Or vice versa too. Kids that like were, didn't have much given to them. Yeah. That got that college scholarship that some coach said that they couldn't get. They weren't good enough to get, or, whatever that is. I can't put you in that bucket. You're there, and not overachieved, but achieved. Like you worked your tail off and, hey, here we are. Yeah. Because luckily I have a dad that has always put me in the gym since I was, I think, kindergarten. Yeah. Where I was in dance, softball, gymnastics, swimming. And then after I quit all of those, they weren't really right. Where'd you do gymnastics? So why did I? Where? Oh, where? So I did it in Sycamore. Okay. I know exactly the place that you're talking about. Yep. Okay. Yeah. That's why I assumed, because I'm like, Indian Creek can't have gymnastics, but yeah, Sycamore's got that place. Yeah. In Sycamore. So when I did gymnastics, I was finally like, okay, like, I don't want to be tied down to gymnastics anymore. I want to do the things that my best friends are doing. So fall comes volleyball. Yeah. So I did volleyball and I was really serious about it. My first year, I got to start on the 7th grade team. Okay. So my dad was like, are you serious about this? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, okay, club volleyball, doing our research. Let's go. Okay. And then he's like, okay, this club has a fitness training program. You're in it. Go work hard. And my dad has always been the person that he doesn't really like. I've been grounded, don't get me wrong. But if it's something, I believe that too. if it's like a minor thing, he goes, okay, 50 push-ups right now. Like he was in the military, so I guess like that also kind of pushed him to do that. But
he's always like pushed me in strength training and all that. So that's why I come here. I work hard because I know like my dad is obviously like paying for it. My dad wants me to do well. Like I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And then something else that's also motivated me, like many other athletes say, like people being rude or mean or saying like, you will never do this. You will never accomplish this. You'll never get this. You'll never get that. You'll never like accomplish what you want to. Like that has pushed me so much.
Yeah.
I can't even describe how much that's like made me determined to push myself and get what I want.
Yeah.
Which my dream was always since 7th grade for volleyball. Like I want to go D1.
Yeah.
I want to go play at the University of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go watch football games. I want to go D1. And then finally I was told like, you're never going to go D1. You're never going to go D1. And I'm like, okay, like I started to believe them a little bit because I started to do my research and all that. And I'm like, okay, like maybe D1 isn't right for me. Maybe I need to go like explore different options. Mm-hmm. So that's when I found the NAIA.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I found Judson.
Yeah. I think I probably have told the story before on the podcast, but my wife and I got married just south of Holland, Michigan, right on the beach of Lake Michigan, which is, you don't think of it being beachy, but it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. Yeah. We could do a little Airbnb and just our families, and it was we got married on a Thursday, and if it rained, we were going to get married on Friday. It worked out well. Yeah. We went out to scout out the area and place and stuff like that, and the NCAA was hosting their Division III women's basketball championships in Holland at Hope College, and so I was coaching basketball at the time, and I don't know if you remember Coach Lauren Heiser that used to coach with us. I think this is before you.
Yeah, this is definitely before me.
So she had played. When I coached in Belvedere, she had played for me. Wanted to continue on. She was looking at really that. Is it the CCIW with Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage? And she ended up going to Carthage. Yeah. But we went up there, and it happened to be the semifinal games were going on, and I watched Illinois Wesleyan play Stevens Point, maybe. And then there was some private school from the East Coast, and then I don't remember who the other team was. But anyway, so this is Division III women's basketball. There's nobody that's 6'2" running around on the court just swatting. There's no 5'11" guard, dribbling behind their back between their legs, creating all this, like a Division I, athlete would. What I saw was just some of the best team basketball. Yeah. Because these kids could all play. They could shoot, they could rebound, they could do the things. This was not Division I, but it was some of the best team basketball. Yeah. Like it was team man defense. There was so much communication going on. There were screens set. There were the offense that was run was like everybody was doing their job. Yeah. It wasn't just because you see this in higher level basketball. Like, hey, just get out of the way and let so and so go one-on-one. And this is what you see in the NBA so much. Hey, clear out, and LeBron's going to take his guy one-on-one and shoot some fadeaway at the buzzer, and hopefully it goes in. And often it does because they're very good. And not to hate on that, but like it was so much fun to watch. It's some of the best basketball I'd ever seen with these teams that didn't have these like insane studs that were like from another planet type of thing. Like it was some of the best, like, and I think you're going to see a similar thing at Judson. You're in order to play well, it's not just, set Lexi the ball. She'll finish it every time. Yeah. Like, because, it's just gonna be more balanced. And so like, if your serve receive isn't on, you guys are going to, you're going to have some issues. If your setter's not, it's got to be this team focused deal. Yeah. And that's the part, like it was so much fun to watch these kids play so hard. They played so hard. Nobody jogged back on defense. They sprinted back on defense. Like there's nobody that like didn't box out. Everybody boxed out because nobody was like, naturally tall enough just to be like, oh, here's the rebound and we'll go.
Yeah.
Like you're 5'6". You have to box out,
Yeah.
or somebody's getting the ball, over you, and you're in trouble. So again, I just go back to, I'm excited. I just think you're in a perfect environment with you and your work ethic, which was obviously driven by your father making you do 1 million push-ups through your lifetime.
Yeah.
Which is fun, because honestly, I will do the same thing. When I get mad at the kids, like they'll be, stop doing it. Well, we did this, 50 push-ups, and they both do push-ups. And by the time they're done with it, they forgot what they were annoyed with. I forgot why I was annoyed with them. And we move on. I don't know if that's parenting 101, but your dad and I should write a book.
Yeah. Yeah. But going back to what you said with the D3 semifinals, going to watch my team last year, it was very senior heavy, and that's why we're a very freshman and transfer heavy team this fall, which is going to be interesting, but it's okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out together. But
learning.
Yeah, learning. So when I saw them for like the first time, it was so surreal, because me and my dad went in thinking, oh, it's just going to be like not how my 18s team was this season, but like how the 18s team was in Greece. Like, we thought they were going to be like, just like it looked like an 18s team. We go, me and my dad just jaws to the floor. We were like, is this like a D1 team? And I'm just like, not with it, because they were working as a team, putting the ball down in the right spot, communicating. The bench was cheering nonstop. There was never a quiet moment with them. Even if the ball wasn't on our side and we were in serve receive, they were doing side out cheers. Yeah. I just was like, oh my gosh, this is like a team I want to be on. Yeah. They're actually working together. They're not being like, oh, I'm trying to get this coach to look at me, so I'm just going to focus on my game. Yeah. I'm not going to work as a team. Yeah. Like, it was so weird to see everybody working together. And that was something else I saw in Greece too. The 18-1 and 18-2s team that went to Greece, they just like worked together and put the ball down, and I'm like, this is a whole different game than what I know. Yeah. Like, I know watching like Nebraska and Wisconsin play each other. Like, that's crazy. They all work together. They all hit the ball down. Games are normally tied. There's never normally a landslide between those two. But it was just so nice to see like volleyball being played the right way. Because I always say like volleyball is like a dance. You're always moving, and it's always like, I don't know how to like, the libero's always going back on defense and creeping up to cover. The hitter's always transitioning to hit and going up to block. Like, and then rotations, like you're always moving. Yeah. So volleyball's like a dance to me. And it was nice to see it actually like a dance and not just like one of those uncoordinated elementary school dance recitals where everybody's like, oh, what's going on?
Well, and I think it's really easy to lose the, and I don't want to say that this is hard to do in volleyball, but like volleyball is the ultimate team sport where you can have this awesome stud outside who just absolutely will destroy the ball. But like, if you don't have any serve receive, and the setter can't get this outside the ball, like you're going to have some issues. But to have that team where, everybody kind of knows their place and what they're supposed to do, even kids on the bench, knowing that, hey, that person is like, this is terrible. I think I've told the story before on the podcast. Like, my senior year of baseball, I wanted to be the starting catcher, but Ryan Sample was the starting catcher. He was a junior. You know why he was the starting catcher? He was better than me by a lot. All conference, cannon for an arm, could hit the crap out of the ball, batted cleanup. He was better than me. I did not like to accept that.
Yeah.
And like there was a part of me that like when he was up, I'm thinking to myself, please strike out, please strike out, please strike out. I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. My parents are in the stands. I'd like to play. I'd like to play. But it's selfish. It was very selfish of me. And I should have, and again, whatever, 17, 18-year-old Adam versus, I'm a little bit more mature now, but like, I think that's super, super hard for kids. But, to have your bench be supportive, to want it, to want that libero to make that
to make that pass,
Yeah.
as bad as that libero wants to make that pass, as bad as this, and everybody's there to like, and if a mistake is made, hey, you got it, don't worry, hey, back up, head up, chin up, and just to have that supportive thing where everybody, top to bottom, understands their role and what they're doing and why they're doing it. Like you can make very powerful teams that way. Again, I don't care what level of volleyball we're talking. I don't care if we're talking collegiately D1 or, high school freshmen. It doesn't matter. If everybody can do it and understand too, that if somebody is having a bad day, somebody is off, somebody is, stinking a little bit. Hey, we're going to sub and that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't dislike you. It's just, hey, you're having an off day. We're going to put Jane in.
Exactly.
And look, hey, Jane's doing what? Good job, Jane. Way to, we're not writing you off, but it's like, hey, we're trying some things, and everybody's got bad days, and volleyball happens so quickly that I don't know, the whole team piece of sport in general, I just think is a fantastic. What ends up being like metaphor for life in the way of like what you go into in the way of, I just think of myself with our coaching staff and stuff like that. Like we have to mesh well and connect and be on the same page. And if we are, we're awesome. If we're not, we're terrible.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah. And like, I've seen it from both the player perspective and then also the coaching perspective. Cause this spring I coached BC Nuggets 111 regional team.
Yeah.
And
that's a group.
That is a group, but I loved them. They were so funny. They taught me a lot because I had never really actually coached a team before, but I was an assistant coach.
Yeah.
So I was observing my head coach, seeing what she did, and then just helping her out. But my kids taught me a lot about the new younger generation and their slang, and I got to see their slang. So I got to see.
You're gonna have to teach me some of that because I don't know. I don't know all the slang.
Yeah. So.
Or maybe you shouldn't teach me it. Maybe that'd be better.
Yeah. But from a coaching perspective, I got to see oh my gosh, I want to play. I want to get out there and see like that selfish kind of side.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's completely normal for an athlete to feel that. I mean, I felt that playing in a little conference, being committed to Judson. I wanted to be all conference. I wanted to be all state.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to state. I wanted to do all the things that every athlete wants to do. I was never all conference.
No.
Never. I was on varsity for 2 years. I was a DS my junior year and a libero my senior year. Never once touched all conference, which is like, okay, because the libero that got all conference my senior year, she was so much better.
Yeah.
Like, I love her. She knows that I love her, but I was never all conference, and that kind of just got to me a little bit after the season because I'm like, okay, like that didn't like sit with me that well. Or at the end of the year, we have awards night. I got best defender because I had the most digs, but I was one off from most aces or whatever the award is called at my school.
Okay.
One off from tying, and it was between me, the DS, which the DS won it, and then our middle blocker. Like us three, and all three of us play club too. So we were all like wanting that the whole season, going back to back, and then our DS won it, and I was like, dang. Like I wanted that really bad. And I was like feeling selfish, like I should have won that. But at the same time, like she earned it. And the libero that got all conference, she earned it too.
Yep.
But like I did feel that selfish side, and to see that as a coach versus a player just gave me a whole new perspective because I'm like, okay, like this is how I looked.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't start playing until I was 13 and I was assistant coaching 11s, but I got to see it from the younger perspective too because at that age I was playing softball where my dad was the assistant coach and the head coach, who was one of my friends' dads, they pushed us harder than the other ones. And there was a lot of games where I did not play just because my dad was like, you didn't earn it because I want these girls to go, I need to push you harder.
Yeah.
So just seeing that as a coach was so like surreal for me. I'm like, okay, like this is how I looked this is what I needed as a player. Like, I need to give these girls what I needed so then they don't feel the way that I felt when I was younger.
Yeah.
So that was really an experience.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cough into the mic. We have a couple, they're not out yet. We have a couple podcasts coming out. One with Hannah Langdon, libero from Genoa, who's going to Central Michigan.
I love her.
Who's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And then one we did with Tony Cassiope, who wrestled heavyweight at Hananiga and has wrestled heavyweight, 4-time All-American at the University of Iowa these last 4 years, and now is assistant coach at University of Wisconsin, Madison. Big Ten.
Yeah,
Big Ten wrestler, going Big Ten coach. He absolutely loves it. A theme here I want to highlight between what you're saying there with, like, hey, the awards are nice and stuff like that. And then the theme with what Tony, said and Hannah said too, like it's the awards are nice, but like it's not the reason why you do the sport.
Exactly.
And like I think that's the difference between, again, somebody like you who got this award but not that award. Like some kids, it would just shake them, be like, oh, what? I didn't get this. And they want that validation. Like they want this. I want to put it on Instagram. Hey, look at me. Look how hard I work. Look how tough I am. Look how dedicated I am. Blah 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 blah. And these two other kids, I'm gonna put you in the same boat. Where, like, again, it's nice, but hey, there are bigger things. There are other things. There are better things. There are higher things. There are more important things.
Yeah.
That are coming. And regardless, and if I don't get this, that, or the other thing, I'm going to continue to work. Exactly. I'm going to continue to get after it. And if anything, it might be something to add fuel to the fire and motivate you to work harder.
Exactly.
Than, this is, because I've seen kids go the other way too. Oh, I didn't get this. This is dumb. I got special mention. Whatever. This is stupid. I'm not playing anymore. And it's just like, if you're not going to play because you didn't get some silly award, like, why were you even playing to begin with? Like,
exactly.
If that's the only reason you're going.
Like, I didn't go to high school to get all the awards I got and the stole I got and the medal I got. Yeah. Like, I went to high school to get my diploma and to go to college. Like, yes, I got to wear all those awards at graduation, but that's not the reason I went to school.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice graduation. Hey, look, she worked hard.
Hey, graduation was only an hour, so I'm not complaining. Yeah. But
how big is your class?
65.
Okay.
Yeah, 65.
Get it done quick that way.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Because I asked Hannah and Tony this, and they didn't give me a good answer. Why do you think? So I think it comes down to a lot of this motivation for our higher achievers. Comes down to this just like intrinsic motivation, where they want to be better and they want to continue to get better and they want to continue to improve, regardless if they get the first place trophy or the last place trophy, which I don't think they give out last place trophies, but you never know. It's 2024. They give trophies for everything. What do you think? What's the motivation for you to continue to go?
So my motivation, like I said earlier, like my parents, they've put a lot into playing this sport and to achieve a high education, because even after college, they're supporting me, wanting me to go to grad school. So my parents are a big one, and like my family, they all have told me like, oh, we want you to do good.
Yeah.
And especially like my parents pushing me, driving me, they're like, you need to push yourself. And especially like my dad being someone that was in the military and someone who played sports in high school at Schaumburg High School. He was like,
big school.
Yeah, big school. Yeah. He's like, what you need to do to be a starter is to work your butt off. If you need me to drive you all the way up to VC United, go do Oak and go do practice, I am perfectly fine with that. I just want you to give your 120% in order to do that. So I've always known, like, I never want to disappoint my parents.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my biggest fears in life, is disappointing my parents. So them giving me that motivation kind of pushed me to where I am. And then, like, again, like all the people saying like, you can't, that has especially driven me, or people being like, oh, this has been like the worst decision you could have made.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Like, I know myself. You don't know myself.
Yeah.
So just knowing that there's people out there that don't believe in me as a person, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Let me go to the gym, work out for a couple hours, and come home.
Yeah.
So that's also been a big motivator for me. And then, like, my friends, my teammates, like, they're all here for me. They all want, like, my best friend that played volleyball with me, but now she's not playing volleyball anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, we played high school together. She's like, you are, like, my best friend. Like, I know volleyball not as much as you do because I played only school. I didn't play club. But I know, like, in high school what we had to go through on our high school team. So, like, I am here for you. You tell me what you feel, and I'll, like, bounce ideas off with you, so then you can do better.
Yeah.
So, like, being able to talk to someone and being like, hey, like, I don't think I've been doing well in the gym lately. And she goes, okay, why? And then I'm like, oh, well, my back's been hurting, so I haven't really been able to do some of the things I want to. Okay, what have you been doing for recovery? Oh, okay. Like, that's what I need to do in order to get back in the gym and to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So being able to, like, bounce some, like, ideas off of someone is also pretty motivating because I'm like, okay, there's someone here that actually wants to help me get better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then you guys are pretty good motivators. I mean, I worked with Kyle a lot in the Premier program.
Yeah.
Kyle, Katie, and Sam. And I'd be doing reps and they'd be like, yes, you go. Like, keep it up, keep it up. So that was pretty motivating as well. Like, weightlifting in the gym.
Yeah. Well, here, let's break this down because you said 3 fantastic things there. So if I hope parents listen to this, and I think there's a tough line for parent because you can't want it more than your child.
Yeah.
And I see that often. And it's funny how different my 2 children are. My oldest is much more of a thinker. And his knee-jerk reaction, like his mother's, is always no.
Yeah.
Do you want to? No. Dad, I'm too tired. No. Wait, like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you just go to? It's an open gym. Go to the open gym. What are you doing? Oh, I don't know if and then he'll think on it and be like, you know what? I think I'm okay. I think I'll do it. Oh, sweet goodness. Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's get. But, like, I think it's or my youngest. I could just trigger. Okay, yeah, I'll go. Like, it's just it's just different. Where different kids, different things, and again, I just think there's a line for parents because I've seen there's so many kids. For as many kids that we have get through the program and, hey, go on for college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As good as we are, and I think we're very good. We work very hard. I'm saying us and VC. There are kids that we see as 8th graders, freshmen, and then they fall off the face of the earth, and we never see them, and that's fine. But, like, they were so hot and heavy, when they were 15 years old about this sport. And then by the time they hit 16 or 17, they hate it and they don't want anything to do with it. And so, like, for a parent, I think it's a very hard line to walk where, like your folks have been insanely supportive. Yeah. But they weren't crazy.
No. No, they were not crazy.
Yes. Because sometimes, we're going to go to this and we're going to do this. And they're, like, living vicariously through. Your dad asked, hey, is this volleyball thing something that you really enjoy? And when you said yes, we're like, okay, well, we probably need to look into the club thing and blah, 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 blah. And he's there supporting you in this love that you have for this game. Which, so I think that's versus the other thing, like, hey, we signed you up for club and here we, and not knowing if you really want it or not. Because I think that's a big deal. Part 2 is that you mentioned having a friend, friends that are in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's super hard if you're trying to do it by yourself. If you're on your own, you're on an island by yourself, and you have a bad game, and you're the only one that cares, and everybody else is there for just, like, kicks and giggles and stuff like that. And to have that sounding board, of Indian Creek friend, correct?
Yeah, Indian Creek friend. She was the only one. If I was having a bad game, she'd be the only one to be able to be like, hey, you got this.
Yeah.
Like, pick your head up. You got it.
Yeah.
She's the only one that made that work. Everybody else they just didn't make it work.
Why?
Just because, like, there's a couple girls on my high school team that want to play in college and have been playing in club and all that. I just don't think like in the high school level, a lot of girls play just to play.
Just play.
Like,
Yep. Have fun.
Their parents want them to play, or they think, oh, like if I'm on the volleyball team, I'm cooler, or any of that.
Yeah.
So,
or it's Indian Creek. You only have 65 kids in the class, and you have to fill out a team.
Our volleyball program is actually, my junior year was the only program in the whole entire like athletics to have 4 levels.
Oh wow.
We only run 3 levels
Yeah.
at my high school for like anything. I mean, the year before we had basketball being the only one that had 4 levels. It kind of just varies on the year.
Yeah.
But basketball and volleyball are like our most performing sports. And for the past couple of years, it's definitely been volleyball. I know that my freshman year, I think we had 22 girls on my freshman team.
Okay.
It was huge.
Wow.
Sophomore year, we had like 18, and then from there, it just kind of trickled down.
It's tough.
But yeah, for a school that has 65 kids in my class, which we had like kind of the least, because our town, like my town, Waterman, it's growing tremendously. They're building houses there. So our school is building like in people. They're having to expand on the school. We're getting a new cafeteria. They have a weight room in the plan. They have an auditorium in the plan.
Oh.
It's just getting a lot.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, we're getting bigger. Yeah. I love it. So, yeah, because we didn't even have a weight room at my high school.
Really? Oh my gosh.
No weight room. We had to go to the middle school, which the weight room was about the size of this room and that room together. That's how big our weight room is.
Not big. Yeah, for reference, people, if you're not watching the show right now, it's
not big.
200 square feet.
Yeah. So very tiny weight room. I mean, we got done what we needed to get done in there. Don't get me wrong. We were able to weight lift. We were able to go into the gym, jump rope, do whatever we need to do. But at the same time, like going from a school that's 20 minutes north of me, DeKalb, having a 4A program, huge, weight room, super huge.
New school.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not that. It's whatever, 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
It's new to me.
It's new to you, but for me, it's been there since I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it has.
Yeah.
That old. Never mind.
So, like going to a school that's like 20 minutes north of me and it being huge, or like 25 minutes north of me being Sycamore, and I'm like, I'm gonna get lost in this school. Because even my boyfriend goes to Sycamore, and like when I went there to like go see him or something, I was like, this is a huge school. And then he goes to my school for prom, and he's like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
Like,
right here.
It's very tiny, but I forgot where I was getting with that. But just my 65, we had a huge program. I'm glad to be someone that was a part of that program. I'm always one that's like, hey coach, like I know I'm done, but like, do you want me to come back? Like, I'm always like, do you want me to come back?
Yeah.
Do you want me to come back? Like, I just loved playing for Indian Creek.
Yeah.
I loved playing conference games too. Conference games were always my favorite, just because like those small town rivalries that have been going on for years and years and years, and intense. Like I know, like Help Sycamore, like they have that castle game, which is pretty cool, but like at the same time, they don't understand what the the Little 10 conference tournament is like. Yeah. They have no idea what that is. Because is that what you guys are? The Little 10? The Little 10. Oh, that's so cute. The Little 10, but it's more like the little like 12 or 13. Oh, okay. We add schools. So that conference tournament's just so like the lights are lit. Like, we have packed stands. Everybody from every school's there in like a student section, and luckily like we were seated 6th going into it my senior year, and the year before we went into it seated 1st. Yeah. So going from 1st to 6th, we were like, okay, we need to like go. Yeah. In our first, like my junior year on varsity, when we were seated 1st, we ended up placing 3rd. Okay. And we were kind of like sad because we're like, we were seated 1st, but the schedule was very tough to get there. Don't get me wrong, seated 6th, it was even tougher to get to where we did, but we ended up placing second, doing better than the year that we did before. Yeah. So, like, having that atmosphere of the Little 10 was just so awesome. And it was a tinier gym because we go in alphabetical order for who hosts it. And this year we had a tinier school called Leland High School. Mm-hmm. Very tiny. Their graduating class this year was 12. Mm. I think it was 3 girls, 9 boys.
Oh boy.
I think that's what I was told. I could be wrong. So being in that little gym with one side of bleachers and then playing in such a loud gym, whether it was, I know our first game, because we had to play one of the, like, I don't know what it's called on a bracket, but we weren't even in the main bracket yet. We were in like a tiny bracket to get into the big bracket. Okay. So we played this really tiny school called Depew first. Mm-hmm. And that game, there was like nobody there because their school was like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Like, you think Indian Creek is in the middle of nowhere? They're in the middle of nowhere. So we played them dead. Then next we played, I think it was I could be wrong, everybody, I could be wrong, but I think we played our conference rivals second. And they had beat us beforehand.
Who's this?
Hinkley Big Rock. Okay. Which, like, we kind of have 2 rivals. We have Hinkley Big Rock just because we've always not liked them. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening from Hinkley Big Rock, like, I'm sorry, but we do not like you. And you guys will probably say, like, we do not like you back. Yeah. But that's just the way, like, the conference works. So we played them. They had beaten us before on a very off night. Like, everybody, including me, we were just, like, in our own worlds. Yeah. We were like, what is going on right now? And we beat them in the conference tournament. And we had people from their school and people from our school and then the parents. And so most of our parents, not my parents, but most of the parents went to Indian Creek or HBR beforehand. Because something that I saw going to in a small town, like, everybody knows each other because all the parents went to school with each other, all their parents went to school with each other, and then on. So having, like,
not many people moving in.
No. Yeah. So having, like, that atmosphere of, like, the parents and the students going wild just kind of, like, helped me specifically, because when people are cheering for me and cheering for the team, especially for the team, like, I could get a good pass and someone could be, like, cheering for me, but I also want them to cheer for, like, my middle blocker when she gets a good block, which she got a lot of those this season. Yeah. So, like, I love when the crowd just cheers for my team because it just gives us, like, more energy. And, like, I feel like for club, I don't see that as much just because it's just parents. It's not, like, students. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's, like, siblings or friends or boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever. So I don't feel like in club I really hear that cheering unless, like, I went to AAUs my freshman year, and that's when I was at that big club, and we had one of our teams in the championships, and, like, the whole club just came over and we were all cheering and it was helping them out, which we got second, but still, like, I don't really see it in club as much, and I kind of, like, miss it every single time I go from school to club because I just love all the cheers that they come up with. Sometimes some of the cheers are a little much, but I just love that atmosphere. And then, like, for the championship, we played our other rival, Newark, which they had a state winning team for 2 years in a row, like in 2018, 2019-ish, before COVID. Mm-hmm. And those were really good teams. And we've always, like, had it set that we were going to beat them. Yeah. Which we didn't. We got second, but, like, it was still fun to, like, play Newark in the championship. But it was a lot louder for that game, too. Yeah. Oh, I totally missed a game in between. I can't remember if it was in between Depew and Hinkley or Hinkley and Newark, but we played Serena, and Serena's also a good one to play in my conference. Everybody was loud.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah. You don't know anyone in our conference.
I think it's neat as much as I love how structured at least the club piece here ends up being, and then kids will disappear for their high school years, and some good, some bad.
Yeah.
my end, I get frustrated that a lot of these, you guys, like, you're not traveling up here 75 minutes just to, get in the weight room for an hour and then go home. I would love if you did, but it doesn't seem like the best use of your time. So from a strength fitness standpoint, we'll see kids kind of tick down.
Yeah.
But they everything that you just said there, they love the camaraderie. They love, competing with, their classmates. You have science class with these people, and then you're on the court, and then you grew up with them. Elementary, middle, high school. You're going against these others. Like, it just, they really, really enjoy that. And you pack a gym, for a conference championship game or a regional championship game, or sectional, and people get really, really excited because this is it. If you win, you continue to go. If you lose, you go home. And for all the frustration that I think I get with, like, oh my gosh, we're not maximizing performance. Like, it's really a fun time for you guys, and that that's the part that I really appreciate with, like, the old school, high school, cute little rivalries going on.
Because especially like with my tiny high school, I was in kindergarten with half the people that I graduated with, which my class of 65, whether you believe it or not, if you're listening, but my school was combined with another school a year or two before I got into high school, and my class is still 65.
Yeah.
So being able to meet new people also in high school and getting to play with them, which we played with them for like rec sports a couple years, but not really anything serious. But like playing in such a small conference and then coming to a club where we have girls that go to Hananiga or I mean, Aquin's small, but like they had a really good volleyball program, or
phenomenal program.
Genoa's by me, and seeing Hannah and all them.
Yeah,
like
they had a couple other studs. Yeah.
And then like we played them my junior year, and we were like, oh my gosh. And then they took us off their schedule, and I'm like, I don't blame them for doing that. Like, that was an easy win for them. But we played them the year that they went to state, and we were like, oh my gosh, like, you can take us off your schedule. Like, we understand.
Yeah.
But like seeing all these big schools and getting to meet people that go to big schools and hearing their experience in school, like, or even like my cousin goes to a bigger school than me. She's in BC United's program, about to be a 17. She goes to Durand, and she went to school with Rhiannon. So hearing their experiences versus mine are very different.
Yeah.
Like, I would tell people, like, oh, like, I go to a vocational school, and they're like, for what? And I'm like, I went for sports medicine. And they're like, oh, well, we have that at my high school. And I'm like, yeah, we don't. That's why they send us somewhere to do it.
Yeah.
So, like, hearing that, and then I'd be like, oh, yeah, since I, like, intern, I don't have to be at school past 11 o'clock on these days. And they're like, I have to be at school all day. And I'm like, okay, like, that's a difference.
There's cons.
And then they'd be like, oh, is there anything like fun at your school that you do? And I'd be like, oh, we have bring your tractor to school day. And they're like, what? You have bring your tractor to school day? Which I don't have a tractor, but a lot of people do.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. Or like we have truck competitions and a petting zoo, and that's all during FFA week. But there's a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, what kind of school do you go to?
Oh, the small
schools.
Or
same with like my college team. Seeing what high schools they go to, especially my freshman class. A lot of my freshman class is from the area this year. I mean, my roommate is from Evansville, Indiana. So, like, we're both kind of far. Or and I'm an hour away from the school. I am closer to my school than I am VC, which I think is so funny. But it is what it is. So, like, I'm living there. I have my roommate that's from Evansville. I'm an hour away. I have another girl that's 2 hours away, another girl that's 2 hours away, but like everybody's kind of like going to like an Elgin school because we're in Elgin, or we have girls from West Chicago.
Yeah.
But my roommate Reese isn't the farthest. I mean, we have girls that are from Puerto Rico on the team. We have girls that are from Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like, we have girls from all over, but like seeing what schools those girls went to. And, like, that's another reason why Judson was a good fit for me, because it's a private Christian college, so it's, like, tiny. And the class sizes are, like, I think they said 12 to 1. it depends on your major.
Yeah.
So having that same class ratio that I did in high school meant a lot to me in my college recruiting, because I'm like, I need to find a small school, because I knew in a big school I would not survive. Going from a school that is one hallway long to having multiple buildings on campus, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I know people from my school do it. Like, there's people that go from my school to Illinois State.
Yeah.
That's a big one for my school.
Yeah.
Like, half of our school goes to Illinois State, half of our school goes to community college. Like, that's just the thing.
Yeah.
So for them, going from Indian Creek, one hallway, but we kind of have two, but we just say it's one hallway, and then going to Illinois State, where that's like a school in
building after building. Yeah.
Because I toured Illinois State because I wasn't sure whether I was going to play volleyball or not. So, like, seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, but at Judson, it's pretty small, pretty low-key. I like things that are chill. They have a lot of events on campus that bring people together. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. If you were to look back at a younger version of you, 4-ish years ago, and you're going to give advice from where you sit now to wrap this podcast up, what you know, or if we're talking to, you know, just younger kids who are, you know, thinking they want, you know, this college volleyball thing, what are your words of wisdom?
Something that I would say is, like, especially in my volleyball career, I'd tell them, or tell myself, like, you're gonna run into some people that just don't believe in you, and they will say mean things to you. And don't get me wrong, there was times where I said, I'm gonna quit. But at the same time, I'm like, I love volleyball. Like, why would I quit if I want to go so far?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, like, use them as fuel. Especially if you're, like, someone that's younger that's watching. If you have someone that's bullying at school, use it as fuel. Don't change yourself because of that person, but just use, if they're like, oh, you can't pass a ball to the setter correctly, use it as fuel.
Yeah.
Train, practice it, get a little bucket and pass into the bucket, pass to the bucket until you get it in the bucket. Like, just train harder no matter what somebody else says, because what somebody else says doesn't define you as a person.
Yeah.
Because I know that I used some words to define me as a person. I believe that what they said was me.
Yeah.
And then I finally realized, like, oh, what you said doesn't define me, so I'm not going to let that hurt me.
Yeah.
Because I went through a lot in volleyball. Don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't even talk about half the things I went through during volleyball. But, like, it was really hard. So just, like, it was mostly, like, the words people said to me.
Yeah.
Just push yourself. Don't let them get to you. Have fun. Don't, like, I don't want to say, like, don't take it too seriously, but, like, at the same time, it, like, just don't take it too seriously, because the point is to have fun. Because if you take it too serious, I feel like in the times that I took it too serious, I started to hate the sport.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to hate the sport that they love to play.
Yeah.
So you just need to have fun while also being serious and pushing yourself and training hard. And something else that I've kind of learned, like, over the years, especially, like, in Oak, I feel like, is if someone's next to me and I notice that they're definitely training harder than me, I need to look at them and be like, okay, I'm going to train harder than you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at the person next to you and decide, like, even if they're on your team, say they're the same position, say that you're competing for the libero spot. You need to look at that person, see what they're doing. If they're training harder than you, you need to train harder than them. I'm not saying that you need to go up to them and be like, I'm training harder than you, like, I don't want you to put them down. I just want you to show it on the court that you're training harder. You're trying harder to get the ball to target, or you're trying harder to lift well in a good form. You don't have to, like, weight lift. I learned that at Oak. You don't have to squat 300 pounds in order to be a strong athlete, but, like, you need to train harder than the person next to you.
Yeah.
Because that gave me a lot of motivation in the gym, is to train harder than the girl next to me. Especially at VC where we have position trainings. I'm a 17. I have an 18 that's older than me at position training. I always wanted to look better than the 18s.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, I wanted the 18s to know that, but I just wanted the 18s to know, like, I am going to train harder than you. Like, and yeah, I just think that some advice for my younger self or any younger kids watching, like, train harder than the person next to you. You can do it. I promise. You can train harder than the person next to you. And then as well, you need to take those words and use it as fuel because I know that got me through my career, and it still is.
Yeah.
There is words people have said to me in middle school and high school that will live with me till the day I die. So
might want to let that go at some point, but no, I know what you're saying in the sense of, like,
using it as fuel.
Well, and it's great that you do, because the other option is I'm gonna cave.
Yeah.
Somebody said something mean on social media, which is so easy to do these days, and it hurt my feelings, and now I quit. No, like, that should be motivation for you to, like you said, to get after it and be like, go the opposite direction, and use it as fuel, like you said. And then I do like I think it's amazing how, like, I don't want to say you can always work harder, but, like, to have that high standard. Like, I hate to say it, I can tell kids in the weight room and how hard they work and where they're going to end up come college stuff. Like, you were an easy one to predict because you came in and you worked your tail off. And I love our Premier program, but not everybody works their butt off all the time.
Yeah, because especially at Oak, there was only 2 18s in the Premier program that were in here, and one of them was me.
Yeah. And so it's interesting to see, sometimes kids work insanely hard. Sometimes they don't. And even within, the elite program too, the kids that bust their butt, like, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to go off and do good things and, play in college and da-da-da. And the kids that don't work that hard, like, those are the kids that end up getting hurt or, flailing off, flaking out. And, I just didn't want to play anymore. You didn't want to play anymore because you didn't work that hard, and you didn't see yourself getting better, and you didn't see yourself getting better. So why are we wasting our time?
Yeah,
nobody's getting better. So, Alana, I appreciate your time.
Always.
If people want to reach out and follow your little journey into Judson on the social, where do they go to find you?
So probably Instagram would be the best one. So my Instagram is Alana, Alana, for anybody that. That
spelling's good.
Yeah. .Morgan, Morgan 24. So that's me. And then you can also follow Judson Volleyball. I'm sure I'll be in there. So that's Judson WVB.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll link them both in the little show notes here. And kid, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your story. I appreciate how everybody's got their own little journey through this. Yours is unique. And I think the biggest, coolest thing is that I run into some kids by their senior year, they're so burnt out from volleyball, and you're just starting, and you're excited.
Yeah.
You're ready for the next chapter. You're ready to turn the page. Nothing against anything that we did here, but, like, you're ready to move on, which is great, because turns out there are bigger things outside of these 4 walls. And I'm thrilled for you, because I think you're in a perfect spot for what you're doing, and I'm excited for your next 4 years.
Thanks.
So, thank you so much.
We will definitely be back. So.
Yes. We'll podcast again. We'll get updates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
There we go.
I'm cool with that.
There we go.
Yeah. I'll be back, everybody.
We'll make it happen.
Part 2.
There we go. Listeners, thanks for listening. Alana, thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for listening to another episode of Oak Performance Radio. Don't forget to check us out on the social at Oak Performance and online at www.oakstrength.com/Oak Performance. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.